Welcome to Living Like Vacation. My name is Joe.
And I'm Gary.
We're glad you joined us. Let's live like vacation. Today is a special day because tonight we're going to be spending time with Gary, my co-host, and we're going to learn how Gary lives like vacation. But before we do that, I always like to break the ground rules.
Okay.
So, when it comes to vacation, what's something that really bugs you, Gary? I mean, you work in the hotel industry. You see people get on vacation and they're not really ready for it. Like, what's something that comes up on vacation that you're like, oh, they're not quite there yet?
Unpreparedness.
Unpreparedness.
You show, you don't really, and it's fine to go on a venture out, but like when you're truly unprepared and then you spend half your time trying to find a store to go buy something, so you don't ever get to truly get into the moment right away. Because when I show up, I'm ready.
You're ready, but you're a pro. I mean, let's face it, tonight we have the pros that live in like vacation. We came up with this concept, and so...
Mostly Joe.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
So there are people that go on vacation and they are just disheveled. They spent a lot of money on a trip, and then when they get there, they are just not having it.
No.
They're not having it. Their mindset is not ready. So as we always say at the very beginning, we want to make sure that in this podcast, we're there. The two of us, this is the Zen moment here. You're getting 100% of that. So let's kick things off, and tonight I get to ask the questions, which is fun for me because most of the time Gary has to ask the questions, and we kind of go back and forth. So, Gary, you work in the hotel industry, and how long have you been doing that?
Oh, since 2006, I started in New Bern working in a hotel on the front desk. Great job. Absolutely one of my favorite jobs.
And which hotel was that?
That was at the Bridgepoint Hotel Marina right here in downtown New Bern.
Okay. And how was working the front desk one of your favorite things?
Well, I mean, it's your best chance to interact with the guests. So you get them off the road. You're getting them good or bad or whatever. They're walking in, and you get to set the temperature for the room, You get to, because they could show up, and you could make it a bad day or a good day for them. So, of course, we're out there on the river. I always wanted to make it a good day. I'm like, hey, you're here. Look at you. You have no further to go. You're right here. Unless you want to walk across the bridge downtown, you're on the water.
And you have landed at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you see these people, they show up, you're getting firsthand the disheveled people that are not living like vacation, but that bought a vacation.
Oh yeah, but you know what got me the most is most of the time you're getting that. Out of the first day you really blow it out and you have the most fun. Like you're getting that. They're showing up. They're ready to go. And I love that because that's the kind of energy that you can feed off of. And I love doing that, And I still, in my days, I still try to get up there, especially if I hear somebody who's carrying on at the desk. I can hear it from my office, and I'll go up there and talk to them because you can tell how excited they are to be there, and they want to know everything. If there's any questions about where should I go to eat or shop or just sightsee or sometimes it's just real estate, that gets me excited. They're like, oh, we're thinking about moving here. I'm up there. I want to be in that scene and be a part of that. So.
Do you see people fade out a lot? Like they come in hardcore, like they're ready to go, and then as the week goes on, they kind of die down a little bit.
I think that as the week goes on, if you think about it, because they'll come in stressed. It's from the plane ride, or it's going down 70 East, or maybe coming down 17 North, or 17 South, whichever direction you're coming from. They're a little road tired. A couple days in, they've been walking around downtown. They've had some good food. They've had some drinks. They're smiling. And you can tell the difference between somebody on day one and day three. And sometimes I'm like, you've been here a couple days, haven't you? They're like, oh, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, I can see it in the smile.
I've always felt like that when I go places because sometimes I'll go places like, these all-inclusive resorts.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, like, these guys, they're herding cattle in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally one of the sheep. Like, I'm getting herded into this resort, and they know exactly what my facial expressions, my experiences are. So you see that firsthand.
Oh, yeah. Well, think about the honeymooners. I mean, they just came from this big wedding where they had to talk to all these people. They may or may not have had dinner, and they got barely any sleep, got on a flight, got dropped off in this Caribbean location, and they are just coming in. And they're married now.
Yeah. Now what? Now it's over? No, I'm just kidding. Now it's
Can you
like
imagine
beginning. It's
that?
great.
Yeah. And then a couple of days in, they're like, this is not so bad. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
this is great.
it's funny because, you talk about honeymooners, they have all this amped up energy because, the high of getting married and all those people around.
It's a great
and
time.
I remember, and then all of a sudden it's like I get to the resort and then it's like, it's over, but it's sort of like you're there. This is it. I can relax, that sort of thing.
That's
so,
right.
so let me ask you this question. So when we talk about living like vacation, what does it mean to live like vacation?
Well, if you'd asked me before we started doing this podcast, I probably had a different response. But I think about this podcast all the time, and when we listen to all these guests that we have, for me now, it's really about, like we always say, it's 50% work, 50% play. But I don't know if it's like that. I'm starting to think it's more like when you're working, how can you be more relaxed and how can you enjoy it? And I don't know if that's my 40s kicking in because I just turned 40 or what, but like...
Congratulations on turning 40.
Thank you. I mean, but I'm a little more relaxed now when I think about it, and maybe I'm in a stressed out situation. I'm like, this isn't necessary. And that what clicked for you that day and with Greensboro on the highway?
Yes.
It's kind of clicking for me now. And I've always lived somewhat like vacation because I've been working since I was, full time since I was 12 years old. So I always knew the importance of getting some time off and doing something. When you could do it, you took advantage of it. Mm-hmm. But now I'm starting to understand the principles of it, I guess. And that's what I enjoy. And I think that's what it means to me. Like it's about a mindset.
I think so, and I think that part of it is, recognizing that in a more frequent basis. So it's not like you take that 1 week a year or you wait for the next holiday so you can just finally take a breather. You're doing it more frequently.
Yeah, and you know what? Think about it. How long have we been doing the show now? A couple months? And that's just muscle memory. So in a couple months, my mindset has changed because I'm thinking about it all the time. So you just took the opportunity and listen to just entertain us and listen to some of the shows and listen to some of these stories for people and how they try to get out there and live their life and take a break and relax a little. I think it'll help you. I mean, I really do. It's helped me, and I'm on the show, so I'm here all the time. And I'm not. If you want to start your own podcast and that helps you too, great.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do.
It's making time to live like vacation.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep. So how do you live like vacation? What do you do? What do you personally do to get to that
when
point?
I'm not working?
When you're not working, yeah, because obviously you can't. I mean, unless you're like
honestly,
skipping work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a great career, I guess, and we're in downtown New Bern, or we're in New Bern, and one of the things that I do when I'm working, if we're talking about when I'm working and live like vacation, I like to go downtown. If I'm going to take a meeting, try to take it downtown and go out to a nice restaurant. Go to an event. There's always events going on in town. You're getting some networking in, so for me, that's great for work. Plus, you're mixing and mingling and getting to know new people. When I'm not at work, I like to travel. I mean, I guess there's a reason I'm in this industry. I like to go around and find new places. I've said this before. Sometimes I like to go to the beach. Sometimes I like to go to the mountains. Sometimes we'll get some guys together and we'll go on an adventure. I mean, I've put some pretty crazy trips, I think, and I've enjoyed them all. But what I try to do is pick a assortment of different ones, so there's always something different. I'm always out there exploring something new.
Yeah, and I think keeping the diversity of that kind of helps out. For me, one of the things that I like to do, I think about that quite often, is going and taking a meeting somewhere fun versus taking a meeting, somewhere that's not fun. And recently, I have began taking meetings in different rooms of the building.
Oh.
Because I could choose to stay in one room.
That's true.
And take all my meetings all day long in that one room. But I realized that there's a lot of rooms in the building that are not being used. So I was like, hey, I'm going to take this meeting in this room, I'm going to take this meeting in this room, and kind of move it up. But if I had the luxury like you do of going downtown, and getting that experience, that vibe, because I think that makes a big difference, like you're saying.
Well, I'm fortunate because, I serve on the Tryon Palace Foundation board. So, and that one we get that great boardroom
Oh
in the
man,
History Center. It's
that
excellent.
place. Yes.
So, you want to have a meeting? Like, yeah, I'll go to your meeting. That sounds good. I'm not in TDA anymore, the Tourism Development Authority for Craven County, but I still go to the meetings, and that's in the Chamber building. They have a very nice meeting room, and there's always a great marketing presentation there where you learn a lot of stuff, so that's fun. I take meetings. We'll go to the Convention Center. So, those are all cool venues. I see what you're saying.
I do, and thanks to our friends in Swansboro,
Oh,
now I have that meeting spot, which is a wonderful meeting spot. And so when I go away from my office in New Bern, I can go to Swansboro, and now I can have a meeting place there, which is absolutely beautiful too. So I think, there's a lot of places that you can go, and it depends on your job. Obviously, if you have a one conference room you work in, but if there's an empty conference room that you can go into, that's an opportunity. But there's a lot of other places that are available, like libraries, those types of things that you can use that are free.
And if you're out there and you have a job where I can take my shoes off and put my toes in the stand, we can have a meeting there. Call me. I'll meet with you. I will do that. Wouldn't you do
Gladly,
that?
yes.
What better meeting? If we could take your shoes off during a meeting, I think we'd all be a little more relaxed.
Yes,
But
100%.
that'd be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to be outside.
So I know you said something earlier about people coming into the hotel and showing them ideas and places where they can enjoy their vacation. But how do you help these folks do that other than just recommendations? How do you help them live like vacation?
Well, I'll tell you the difference. And this is important, and it's important for as a salesperson or if you were a realtor. What restaurant do you recommend? That's always the top question, right? Or what shop? Go forward. Ask them a question because there's a lot of great restaurants here. I could go through the list. What are you in the mood for? And then let me narrow that down. And what kind of experience are you looking for? Do you want to be downtown on the water? Do you want to be in like a historical building? Do you just want to be in the local spot? The little, what do they call it? Like the diner, what is it you're looking for? And then I go from there. So then you're really getting into it because you really need to approach it as what exactly are you looking for? Because you can make a recommendation and it's just not for them, So you really got to find out who you're dealing with, and that's how you make the experience the best for them. And so that's how I try to get into it.
And I think that's something that you've done really good, and being involved in different things, that gives you sort of a wide range. Obviously, if you're going on a vacation and it's not here, now, let's say that you're going to New York. Now you know what to ask the concierge, like, hey, I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. That's something that you have that working knowledge of. How do you find time in your work week? Because I know that's one of the things that all of us juggle with. I'll be honest with you. I wish I could live like vacation every single day. I'm not going to lie and say that I don't get disappointed or I'm not going to say angry, but I'm frustrated that I can't do it every day, that I can't live like vacation every day. There are days that come up that you can't do this. Like you can't detach. You've got to stay focused. There's something that you need to do primarily. So on those days, you have to dial in. There's a time to work and there's a time to play. But how do you find time in your industry and what you do to live like vacation?
Well, I strongly believe that you have to be very organized, and I know that's not for everyone. That's just my tip. So there'll be other programs here with people that aren't organized. But for me, and if you are organized, if you get organized and you keep organized, you will have more time because you're just going down your list and you're knocking out things so that when something else hits, you're ready. But then again, if you're organized and you've gone through your list, it leaves you with time. But if you're spending half your time searching for something, then you're losing time. And that's time that could be spent living like vacation. So the easiest way for me to do it is just stay organized in everything that I do. And, sometimes that gets into our vacation. Like, maybe our vacation's too organized when we're planning. Maybe we've over-planned it. And then sometimes we look at it and we're like, oh, man. So it has its good and its bad, but for me, it definitely is a positive more than it's a negative to stay organized, and that gives me the time to get in there and do what I've got to do.
So during the week, when you're working on your week, you're planning your week or whatever, you're building the vacation into that week. You're saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm going to live like vacation on this day,"
Yep.
or I'm going to build. I'm going to put
Thank
a
you.
spot in here where I'm going to live
Yes,
like vacation.
and that's a great way to describe it. Because yeah, exactly. And my biggest prep day is usually on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And if you call me and be like, "Hey, you want to do something Sunday?" I'm probably not going to do much because I'm trying to get everything that because I had a big weekend because that was my vacation for the most part. And I'm trying to get everything ready so that I can go through the week pretty well. And if I have some opportunities to live like vacation during the week, I'll do that as well. I mean, in this area we have. If you get your work done, you can get out of work on time. You might find a Monday night football group to hang out with. You
Yeah.
might have a Thursday night, sit around on the porch where you hang out with your closest friends and just talk.
Mhm.
Maybe shoot a podcast. We like to do that
Yeah.
on Tuesdays. Fridays usually everyone's just off work and just wants to hang out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know that Friday's always.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a time when I try to schedule anything for Friday. Usually personally I try to get everything done in the crunch time. I leave Monday open for all the fires that Monday
Mhm.
bring. I'm crunching out all the work, trying to set up all the meetings between Tuesday and Thursday. I keep it pretty light on Friday so I can finish it out and have it because I want to spend Friday like that part of the day working hard, getting it done so that I have my free time on the weekends.
Mhm.
And if I'm lucky every now and then, I might get off early on a Friday. And that's what you want.
I think it's interesting, talk about workflow. It's interesting to me to watch that dynamic change, and maybe it's because we're now more mobile. Maybe it's because, the next generation coming up is beginning to take mental health a little bit more seriously. But I find myself working on Sunday evening,
Yep.
getting ready for Monday, but my Friday afternoon is that Sunday evening.
Yeah.
So, because what it is I absolutely hate to be unprepared on Monday. When I go back to work, if I'm unprepared on Monday, guess what happens?
We're like work twins.
It's like, well, I'm just telling you, like, if I'm unprepared on a Monday,
Yeah.
then like Tuesday, it's like Tuesday and part of Wednesday, I'm finally caught up for being slack,
Yeah.
with not being prepared. So if I work part of my Sunday, get my Monday lined up, then Monday rolls, Tuesday rolls, and then as the week rolls on, the living like vacation time opens up.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when I was a kid. I don't know if you were like this. My parents were like, "Get your homework done, and then you can play." And it's almost like my work life has become very
For
similar
sure.
to that.
Except for I didn't really do any homework, but other than that, very, very true. Have you ever noticed before, like a true big vacation, like a 7-day, you're going to be gone? You might be going somewhere, but like you're out. How much you're usually done? If Friday's your last day, you notice how I'm done at like Thursday. I'm so caught up and prepared, and I don't want anything to come up. I'm just trying to knock it out.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question for you now.
Yeah.
So we're in. I think we started this show at the beginning of June, sort of June-ish.
and it's very spot Club Joe. with
This
Brian
very spot.
Mayer.
That's right. We actually did the one with
Oh, yeah,
you
sorry,
and me.
yeah, sorry, we did.
Inverted.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
sitting over there. Inverted. I
So-
purposely sat over here so we'd be inverted.
Oh,
I don't know if you picked up on that.
the change of seasons.
it
if
is.
You're watching it.
So one of the things that has changed quite a bit is you and I are very relaxed. We don't need a whole lot of papers.
No.
We're not like hopefully we're not as scripted to you
I hope not.
as we do this, because that was one of the things that people are like hammering us on, like, you guys are very scripted. But one of the things I wanted to ask you is, since doing this, what's the response rate been? Like, people, have they noticed that you're living like vacation more? Are they asking you questions about the show? What has been the feedback that you've received since doing this?
Well, I think I was recruited to the show by you because I've always kind of lived like vacation, so I don't think that was a surprise or anyone noticed anymore. I've definitely thought about it more, but I have there's been a lot of response from the community, positive response to it, and then I've received some critical feedback that was very important to me, like where they're like, what is this show about, or is it about you going to a place and is this like a tourist show, or is this about that lifestyle? You're taking the time to take some time for yourself, you know. And I said, that's what we're trying to do. And I guess we do cover kind of both, but we truly want to find out in each one of those episodes and with each one of those people how they live like vacation, like how
That's right.
how when they're not working they actually take time for themselves, because you know a lot of people we interview are in the tourist industry for the most part or hospitality, and if they're not taking time for themselves, then they're not going to provide that atmosphere for someone else. So I think we've done a good job selecting those people.
Mhm.
And so I've getting a lot of feedback about that, and you know we've tried to refine that. Definitely, people want to see the scripts go away, and I hope that we're doing a better job of that.
I think we are. I think that, as in building any type of program, you want to try to have some sort of format, and after we get used to it, we don't have to read anything. We
Yeah.
can kind of know where the show is going. But
I certainly feel less nervous. I don't know. I tend to blink a lot when I'm nervous. I know there's been a lot of earlier shit, so I'm hoping those numbers are coming down.
the blink numbers. Make
Blinks-
sure you go back and
yeah.
count the blinks.
We're doing blinks per episode here. So hopefully those are going down. So
Well-
I think it's been overall positive. I've heard a lot from you, and the numbers look. I've learned a lot about the social media and how to track. The numbers look good. We're thankful for all the followers. that
Yes,
we do
thank
out
you
there.
for
Thank you.
watching and following.
Yeah, thank you. So.
So, how do you recommend a person get started living like vacation? So you said initially you weren't maybe doing this to the state that you are now. So,
I wasn't thinking about it. I guess I was just doing it, but not thinking about it. And so now I'm thinking about it more. Like I'm
consciously
I
thinking,
take
yeah.
the time every day to think about that. And when something comes up, I'm like, oh. And it's not just about living like vacation too. One other thing, it's a positive cast. We always talk about being positive, so I'm trying to spend more time being positive. And I've always had a bit of sarcasm. It's kind of part of my sense of humor. So you got to mix that with being positive. But I definitely try to be positive, and I'm looking for positive situations that I can be a part of now. And if it doesn't feel positive, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm starting to wonder, what do I want to be a part of that?
Yeah.
It makes you think about that, or how can I be a positive influence on that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
Spreading the love, baby.
yeah, man.
Just putting it out
I
there.
learned it from the best.
Spreading that love.
The
Get it out.
Godfather of positive.
It's funny. So, why do you think living like vacation is so important in today's world? We see all this negative stuff. We're constantly pumped with it. From COVID to all these things that go on in the world, and we really are somewhat helpless to it in our spot that we're at. But we can influence what we can positively do, whether it's helping the needy or helping in some case. But why do you think this concept, living like vacation, matters in today's world today?
I'm not sure we have another choice. Look at the way we're going, the road we're going down, not just as a country or as a state or as the whole world, but it's not positive, and it's certainly improving over the centuries. But we need to use this technology that we've created and use it for the right reasons, because we found out what happens when you use it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
And I think that's this is your thing. We want to use it for the right reasons, and we've got to do it, because the alternative is there's no alternative. It's a terrible alternative. We've seen the alternative. I'm not even going to talk about the alternative. You've all seen it.
Yeah.
I just don't think you have a choice in there. You got to start getting positive. We got to start positive ways. We really come a long way, and we all thought we were seeing the light of the day on this COVID, and then obviously it's coming up again a little bit, but we're going to get through that too.
We will.
It shows you how resilient we are.
Mm-hmm. I think that the people need good news.
Yeah.
And that was, obviously, living like vacation is a mindset of getting away, detaching, that sort of thing. That's what this show is about. But putting positive out there in the world is what people want. They want, deep down, everybody wants to feel good about themselves. Look, I'm no millionaire. I'm no, guru guy. I don't have a infomercial that I'm going to put on this podcast. It's going to tell you how to make, the next 9-digit income. It's not that. It's a very genuine, organic.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a mindset from two guys that like to hang out, that are trying to, put some good in the world.
And that's the thing. It's genuine, because there's a lot. Oh, this is fake or that's fake. It's not. We're not trying to fake just to make you happy. We're trying to show you some people that are actually happy with what's going on, and maybe their happiness will help you find happiness in you.
That's right. And who doesn't want to listen to something happy when you're covered in something sad all the time? I mean, we got to get the facts. It's not good news a lot of times. So, so why not get something good in your life? So let me ask you this.
Well,
why is living like vacation important to you personally?
to me personally, like I said earlier, it's the right time in my life. I've turning 40. I've got a 5-year-old, and a lovely wife. I want to spend time you're young. When you're young, you want to work, you want to grind, you want to put on stuff, and it's starting to click for me. What's truly important in this world? I'm still going to work hard. I'm still going to go out there and try to do things, do the impossible, and I still want to be an entrepreneur and work, be known in my industry. But I also know that I also want to be known at home. I want to be well known there and well liked and spend time, and I don't want to miss all that stuff. So I think the best thing I could do obviously my wife likes to travel like I do, but the best thing we can do for our daughter is travel, teach her other cultures so she has a better understanding of the world, and that's what my vacation. That's why I really want to do it. So.
Well, I think that in general, the ideal of living like vacation is universal.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people that, for whatever reason, I met a guy years ago. He ran the Lamborghini dealership in Greensburg.
Ooh.
And I got really close to this guy, and I won't say his name, but it was really neat that for whatever reason, the fact that I would just go in there and talk to him and spend time with him, and I obviously was fascinated with the cars.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
They're pretty amazing.
They're no Porsche.
There's no Porsche, I'm just saying. But it was neat that I developed this relationship with this individual. But the reason that we became such good friends was because it was beyond the car. I genuinely wanted to know this person. And it was because of the living like vacation mindset. This person had all the resources, but couldn't get there.
You good?
Couldn't get there. I mean, just could not get there. I mean, we would go out to dinners and things like that, and it was one of those things where just wasn't able to get there at that point. And so I would question that, like, this person's got it going on, and then isn't able to get there, and then here I am. I can't afford one of those cars. I'd love to have one. If you want to donate a Lamborghini, I will gladly take it.
Yes.
But I'm just saying. I mean, at this point, it's not in my cards for a brand new Lamborghini.
Yeah. The
But
garage is kind of full too.
it is kind of full,
Yeah.
But my point is that not everybody understands this concept. Not everybody gets it. They can have all the toys in the world and not get there.
That's true. And to be clear, I would take a Lamborghini golf cart. I'd settle for that, just if the car is out of the question.
I mean, truly, and I think if we were honest, we could honestly think of other people that are searching. They're trying, and you can't buy this mindset. There's no book. There's no audio book. There's nothing. We're telling you how to do this on a bi-weekly basis, basically.
Yeah, and we've done it wrong too, and maybe live a little bit through our experience. So.
No, I think it's important. But thank you for being an awesome co-host.
Well,
thanks
for having me.
Yes, it's been a great summer going to all these different places that we've gone and experiencing, and we've got a lot of really neat things lined up on our calendar. So stay tuned for those things. Before we get going, though, I want to say some shout-outs to our sponsors. Gary, I'll let you lead off with that.
Ooh, our sponsors for today. Let's see who we have here. Ooh, we have Porsche Bear over here in the corner. Porsche Bear.
If you zoom in, you can see Porsche Bear.
If you shake him too much, there might be some dust because he's
been hanging out for a while there.
He's a sleepy bear. How about you? Who else do we have tonight?
We have the Megatron guy here that's in the corner, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Megatron.
I just want to let you know that you are watching this or listening to this podcast in Club Joe, which is the infamous Club Joe.
Yeah. Well,
That
it's just
Megatron robot thing is something that my brother and I used to fight with all the time. He does have a knee injury. I feel bad for him right now.
Did your brother? So you won it then, or did he let you have it? I don't.
Megatron resides in Club Joe. Let's just leave it
Oh,
at
okay.
that.
All right. Well, that's far enough.
And then I did want to be serious with something at the end here. So Gary and I have recently decided that we're going to be able to MC some events. So if you've got something that comes up that's maybe it's a Christmas party,
Ooh, Christmas. We love Christmas parties.
a parade.
Yeah. And now I'm not going to be DJing or anything because unless you like listening to Jimmy Buffett all night.
Just on loop. It's the same song over and over.
We're talking about providing a fun atmosphere and helping
Yes.
MC your event. And Joe's going to teach me a lot about this.
Yes. So if there's something going on, you got a Christmas party and you want some entertainment, you want a couple guys to get up and MC that and have some fun with it, we're beginning to book those dates. So Christmas parties, parades, functions that go on. If you need us to MC things, if you have an award show and you would like for us to do that, we'll do that for you. So anything like that, I just want to put that out there. If you want to, you can message us on any of our social platforms and we can give you sort of how that's going to work and how long we would be there, what we provide and those sort of things. But Gary and I have talked about it.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get picked for the Golden Globes? Because apparently they always have a hard time finding people.
I think they do.
A bunch of average guys like us.
Who wouldn't want these guys
Who
getting up
wouldn't?
there and talking about people with a lot of money that have Lamborghinis?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we would be perfect for that.
It sounds like a natural fit. Or we could do the one in your town too. I mean, we really got this from traveling to Swansboro. We want to get out on the road more. We're looking, we're going to start doing shows in other areas in eastern North Carolina, maybe other places. So, and this is one way to get out there and meet new people. So, if you're interested, just give Joe a ring.
And if you have a place that you think would be a good spot for us to go, if it's like, hey, I know this place, I know this person, and I think it'd be really cool if you guys did a podcast with them, and they're living like vacation. Keep that in mind. It's one thing to have a cool spot, but we need people that actually live like vacation, and have something like that sort of going on.
And they got to look good with headphones on too. I mean, it's an important factor.
Maybe shades too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can wear shades on the show.
I will not lie though. The last podcast, I was pretty sweaty.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty hot. It's pretty hot out there.
It's beautiful though.
It was gorgeous,
But it was
but
hot.
I was in direct sunlight, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, look, we appreciate you hanging with us tonight and watching our show. Let's live like vacation.